Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the mid-season finale for The Walking Dead Season 8. We finally have the title for the mid-season finale. It's called How It's Gotta Be. And check out the new shirt I got. This is fun, right? This is fun. I was just going shopping the other day, right? To have a smashing holiday. There's Christmas lights. Christmas lights on the bat. So I couldn't resist. I saw them at the store. I grabbed a few of them just to give away, during the reviews. So that's gonna be fun. I got 3, and then there's this one here as well too, which says "I survived the holidays." So that's fun. So, just some silly stuff to give away. So I'll be giving these away during the reviews, probably like one a week for the next few weeks. So stay posted for the reviews. Those of you guys who like to watch them, you can, I'll do like a comment, then I'll randomly pick someone and, give them away, that kind of deal for Christmas. Yeah. Why not? So yeah, I'm going to be doing more videos leading up to the season finale for sure. Some speculation, that kind of thing. A lot of times I do like death predictions, but I'm not sure this year because, maybe I will, but, it's kind of tricky because there's some pretty major spoilers out for this mid-season finale that may or may not be true, and we'll have to wait and see if they actually are. But without getting, too spoilery or anything in this video, so don't worry, guys. Won't get too spoilery and all that. But How It's Gotta Be is the title. So the mid-season finale called How It's Gotta Be. This is how it reminds me of something that I would hear like Negan say, like this is how it is. There is no door number 4. This is how it's got to be. Something like that. So kind of tricky. Now, as far as the storyline and what it looks like we're probably going to see based on the comic book series, we're most likely going to see the Saviors attack back against the Survivors. So we're going to see them probably push back with the Survivors maybe thinking that they've won. So we might have these Survivors thinking like, yes, we won, the battle is over, we've won the war, and then it actually is not the case, and we see the Saviors attack, after they fight their own way out of the sanctuary, because of course it's overrun right now, but after they find a way out of there, attacking back against the Survivors. And that would be a really exciting mid-season finale. Also, it's an 88-minute extended episode, so that's going to be exciting as well, too, because it's more like an episode and a half. Of course, that includes commercials, so, it'd probably be like a 66-minute runtime or something like that. So it should be really good. The description reads, every story and battle from the first half of the season comes crashing together. So every story and battle from the first half of the season comes crashing together. So it sounds like maybe this will kind of be a big battle episode where you have possibly Alexandria, the hilltop, and what's left of the kingdom, let's say at this point, joining together, and then you have the Saviors and what's left of them kind of, hitting against each other, crashing into each other. But really, I mean, the roster has been shrunk a bit as far as the Saviors go, I want to say, because a lot of them are captured right now. There is the group of Saviors that's still at the sanctuary, but as far as most of the rest of them, they've almost been entirely cleared out. You had Morales' group there, you have the group that's captured with, that's sort of Gavin's group, you have the rest of Gavin's group that's been wiped out at this point, and then really you just have the Saviors that are at the sanctuary. Aside from that, in terms of numbers, it may actually be pretty even at this point, going into the mid-season finale. If you look at the Hilltop plus Rick and the Alexandria group, and the rest of the kingdom, even though they're kind of out of it right now, really, Rick and the others may have the numbers advantage, so we're going to see. But there was quite a few, if you remember from the end of season 7, we saw Negan kind of giving his short speech where he says we're going to war. It's in the comics, it's a lot better, and it's a lot longer and bigger. But you do see quite a few Saviors there, so maybe he does have quite a few there. So we'll see. I tend to think though, after all the losses and the battles we've seen so far this season, that probably the Survivors right now have a leg up on Negan and the Saviors. So right now I'm thinking that they might have swayed the numbers to their side at this point. So we'll have to see, but every battle coming to her. So it should be a pretty big battle. As far as we know, now this is a little bit spoilery, but as far as we know, it's probably not going to be the final battle in all-out war. So it's probably going to be like, a mid-season finale, pretty big battle, and then it's going to probably continue, at least for part of the second half, is the war. But man, it's been exciting so far. I've been personally loving it a lot. I know not everybody is. Some people, think the season's boring or something. I don't know. Too much action maybe for some people. I'm not sure. But personally, I've just been enjoying all hell out of it. Exile Vendetta says, Trev, do you think Shane died a little too early in The Walking Dead? Or was it a good time to kill him off? I think they should have waited till the season 3 finale. So that's a really cool comment from Exile. He left that in the Punisher review. If you guys didn't see, I did a review of the Punisher yesterday, the first premiere episode with John Bernthal, of course, played Shane in The Walking Dead. Now he's in the Punisher, kicking ass in the Punisher, taking names, and so that's where this question kind of came from. So check it out if you haven't checked out my review, and if you have Netflix, check out the Punisher, because it is good. It is good for sure, and he's awesome as the Punisher as well too. Just as good as he was as Shane, I want to say, or maybe almost as good. His performance as Shane was amazing. So could they have kept him on for another year and kind of expanded on that a little bit more? Personally, as far as the character dynamics of the show goes, as far as the characters go, the love triangle with Lori, Shane, and Rick might be the best of the series, I want to say. It's definitely tricky to say. Some people might, it's a little tough. I think it depends on who you are. But the way they did it, 18 miles out, kind of the show was still really new at that time. It's very nostalgic to think about now for me. But, it was pretty much perfect the way they killed Shane off, I feel like, at the end of the second season. But if they would have kept him another year, that would have been cool too. But then the pacing would have been slower. The Walking Dead may not have picked up as much. What do you do with the season 2 finale then? You have Shane survive. Maybe you have the Dale death be a big death, and then you have the thing centered around zombies mostly. So you could have done it, and you could have had Lori survive longer and done it that way, and then had a pretty big finale with that. That would push things back a little bit. But, at different times of The Walking Dead, they had different pacing. With Glenn Mazzara, he tended to blow past things very quickly. Gimple tends to kind of, have it more controlled, I want to say, to where he gives you enough to definitely keep you watching, as the ratings would show, but he doesn't blow through it so fast as to where, like, it's amazing to see, but then you're out of content, right? Or you're caught up to the comics or something. If Glenn Mazzara would have kept on going the way he did season 3, they probably would have been caught up to the comic already. If he would have continued on that kind of, speed, that kind of momentum going forward. You just can't keep that going unless you want to go past the comics, and then that causes problems too. So I liked what they did with Shane. I thought it was a perfect time to kill him off in the series. John Bernthal's career has done amazing. As a result, they brought on the Governor in season 3, so for comic fans, that was super exciting. It was wicked cool. Could it have been done slower, and would it have been handled, very well? Yeah, they probably could have done one more year if they really wanted to stretch it with Lori and Shane, and had done it there and had more of a zombie kind of feel in the first or end of the second season, had that more be the focal point. But hey, you know what? It was good the way they did it. In terms of budget, it made a lot of sense. You had a pretty big season 2 finale with very few characters. You had, in season 3 you have all of Woodbury, and you start adding on a lot more. So sometimes you get more with less. And I think with Shane in season 2 finale, that's a good example of how you can get more with less. Instead of having this huge, a battle of hundreds of people, you can have just Rick and Shane alone, in the cold. And it can be just as exciting as 100 people fighting, so in a war or something. There was less complaining at that time too than there is now, actually, which is kind of funny. Next one's from David Carter's mom, who says, Trev Q&A, do you fear now that Scott Gimple is in charge? So this is Walking Dead as well too. This spills over both. Season was amazing. Worried he's gonna. So season 3 was amazing. He's saying worried he's gonna mess it up like a couple of seasons of The Walking Dead. I wouldn't worry about that. As executive producer, I wouldn't worry about that at all. Personally, I don't know why he gets so much heat. I don't know why Scott Gimple gets so much heat. I think it's because we kind of hold him responsible for anything that happens in The Walking Dead. And obviously, this is a huge operation. There are thousands of people that are responsible for The Walking Dead. He is maybe the leader, I want to say, of the whole deal as showrunner. So he's the top dog, so to speak. But you have a lot of people involved with the show. As far as my thoughts on his skills, honestly, if you look at a lot of the episodes from the first few seasons, I think you'll realize he's probably the best writer The Walking Dead TV series has. Honestly, he wrote save the last one if you want to talk season 2. 18 Miles Out. He wrote Clear. He wrote No Sanctuary. I mean, you got to look through, you can look through the wiki and see which episodes he wrote. But he did a lot of some of the best episodes in the whole series. Like, a lot of the best episodes were his, you know? And you can actually see it, too. Like, if you watch 18 Miles Out, you know, it's tough to say which one you like Better Angels or 18 Miles Out. 18 Miles Out is amazing. And, you know, I just personally, I love the dialogue in it. Here's Not Here. He brought Morgan back, and he did all that with him and made us feel for Morgan. Morgan's still alive because of him, I would say. If he wasn't involved with the show, Morgan probably would have been killed off a long time ago. Because in the comics, he didn't survive this long. And he wasn't nearly as cool. He's way better in the TV series than he was in the comics. So, honestly, you know, I get it. You gotta blame somebody, right? And he's like, you know, it's kind of like, you know, the crown, right? Heavy hangs the head, right? So that's what it is. He gets a lot of flack, but honestly, he's done some of the best work in the whole series. And for Fear, you know, season 3 of Fear was incredible, but it's a lot like The Walking Dead season 3. You probably can't keep killing characters off that fast like they did in season 3 of Fear. It was amazing. But I don't think you can do that year after year after year and still have a show. Pretty soon, you've killed off everybody. There was even some deaths at the end of season 3 of Fear where it was like people were like, oh no, I would have loved to see this character survive longer. So, yeah, man, I think it will only help Fear probably have a more similar feel to the original series, which is probably a good thing too. You know, it's good that it's different, but we've had season 3 of Fear was amazing, and now, you know, maybe having him, you know, it can be a little bit closer to what it probably should be, like The Walking Dead, in the same kind of universe, but different in other ways. So, I think it'll be good for Fear. I don't think it's a bad thing, and personally, I think that he's as responsible for the success of the Walking Dead TV series as anybody. You know, really. I mean, if you look at the amount of seasons he's done now, he's done the most seasons show running. He's had some of the highest peaks in the series. So, you know, season 5, season 6, yeah, start of season 7, you know, season 8. So, yeah, you know, personally, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I think it'll be fine. So, HuntyQ says, why can Jerry cut a human in half but not cut a small chain? And so that's something where that's actually realistic. I like that because he's got a battle axe, which in reality you're not going to be, no matter how hard you swing, I don't think you're going to be able to. Most people would not. He's a big guy, but I don't think most people would be able to break it because you're going metal on metal. So, you know, you're basically hacking away at it. It's just. Yeah, that's not going to work. Like, even in real life, too. You know, a lot of times we complain about stuff in Walking Dead not being realistic, which I see a lot nowadays. Well, I think that was something realistic, where he tries... That's kind of like a TV series logic moment, where you go to, you know, break through it, but in reality, it doesn't work. In a lot of shows, it would work, right? But if you ever tried it yourself, because I think when I was a kid, I've tried this, you know, doing something like this, you know, it's metal on metal. It's not really going to work. You know, maybe with a... I don't know, with a sledge? No. I just... It's... I don't think you're going to... It's tricky, right? You kind of need to cut it or do something like that. You know, I don't know. It's not that easy. Or go through the fence climbing or something. So I actually like that he couldn't get through it. And now one of the problems is, like, Carol comes over and she just, you know, firing from the hip and all the zombies go boom like that, like just, you know, being mowed down by a 50 cal. And it's not okay. So you could say that didn't make sense, but what can you do? Raymond Gaming says, if you manage to get through the entire Shiva sequence without at least shedding a tear, well, congratulations, you sociopath. So I personally didn't cry too much, but I was really sad watching the Shiva scene, and I had trouble watching it personally, because I was like, I knew it was happening because of the comics and everything, but I was like, oh no, I don't want to see that. You know, I really didn't. Like, I really was like, oh no, I don't want to see that at all. So it was a bit tricky, you know, to watch through, and it did make me sad for sure, man. Dillon Syhavong says, do you think next episode or an episode later in the future they will go over Negan's backstory or maybe talk about it a bit? So I think this episode this weekend we'll probably get a glimpse of Negan's backstory, of him explaining a little bit to Gabriel, which if people want to see drama, if you want to see character dev, that's something that's big for us in the series because we never really had that until now. We're kind of filling in the blanks with here's Negan, the Walking Dead comics, so we haven't really had... you know, these moments with Negan in the TV series to find out if his past is the same as the comic version, if it's different, his motivations, anything like this. So I'm very intrigued to find out, this guy's Santa Claus, his motivations. So, we're going to see that, and that should be good. And but as far as like a full flashback episode, I really want to see a full flashback episode. But it'll probably be next year. That's what I think. I think it'll be in season 9. I think it'll probably be like episode 4, episode 5, something like that, kind of like a Here's Not Here type of deal. And again, it's probably going to be written by Scott Gimple. So there it is, right? That's what it is. Jay Morris says, this really seemed like Ezekiel's episode. It was huge on development and struggle for him, and almost every scene had weight to him and really shifted his dynamic. Thoughts on how much his character has changed because of this episode? So, some guy, right, for Jay Morris, he goes from being a king, right, to just some guy, right? He goes from kingship to just some guy, right? You're just some guy. So he gets broken down, man, and we're going to see him kind of come back. I think Carol might help with that, so we'll see how that goes. But I thought it was a great episode for Ezekiel because you need that because he's a new character. You don't have a whole lot of time with him in the series, season 7 to start, and, up until season 7 episode, was it 2 or 3, whenever the well, the cell, the well. They switched those around anyway, so I guess it doesn't even matter, right? So, we needed that for sure. And last one will be from Billie Jean, who says, Q&A Trev, do you think that Tara should be more understanding of Jesus' plan to keep the surrendering saviors as prisoners, considering she knows what it feels like to be on the other side? Would love to hear your thoughts. Well, the thing is they killed Denise, right? So for her, it is a little bit of vengeance for her, I want to say, for her to get back at the saviors and take them down. That's what she wants to do, obviously, and she has to fight those urges, but she does think it's the right thing to do to kill them all. And, can you really blame her either, too, because if they escape, you're adding numbers to the other side, and it's difficult for you to have to control them. So, it's tough with the prisoners. We've done videos on this already, so is what it is. But for Tara, I understand. I see both sides to it. It's difficult to eradicate people. That's a tough decision to make, to just kill everybody. And then at the same time, it's difficult if you're going to, encamp them or something like that. It's tricky either way. So you can see either side to that argument, I think. And it's tough. So yeah, that'll be it for today's Q&A, guys. Of course, check for this Sunday to enter the giveaway and the review. And if you like this video, please don't forget to thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it, and you can do it at the bottom left. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.